let me fix this at 1606, or let me copy and paste value for now. Now do that analysis. That's 0. 19 over 80. So for Netflix to have given next year's predicted earnings, to have the same forward enterprise value over earnings, it needs to be priced at 436. So it basically says Netflix is underpriced using that ratio. Or Netflix as a firm is underpriced. I'm gonna go back to the original version. And the next one we're going to talk about, or B, how to eliminate the role of non-cash type expenses. We're going to look at the concept of EBITDA, which is short for, let me use a different color. Earnings before interest, taxes, depreciation, and amortization. Published sources have a ratio. For example, let's see. Where are you? Statistics. There is an enterprise value over EBITDA number. Okay. I need to figure out how Yahoo is actually calculating it, but it's how they're calculating their EBITDA. I don't know whether they're using the forward or not. More likely they are. Let's kind of figure it out. Unfortunately, they're not saying it. For example, they have a number called enterprise value over revenue, okay? Well, since we know their revenue for trailing 12 months, we can figure out enterprise value. We are doing Netflix, right? So we have an enterprise value per share of $466.71. I'm basically trying to get the forward version of EV over EBITDA on the cheap without doing too much work. But if need be, we will do that work. It's kind of a quick and dirty stuff. Yahoo has EV over revenue of 570. Revenue per share. Let's look at the trailing 12 months. $32,742 divided by what is the number of shares? 438.68. Actually, so that number is 74.63. Hence, Yahoo estimate of EV is 74.63 times 570. It should be close to our number. Come on. 425.43. What did we get for enterprise value? 466. So more than likely Yahoo is not using forward revenue. They're using backward revenue. So I don't want to use their EV over EBITDA. What I would do, again, when you do this sort of analysis, to the extent possible, remember, we're going to basically create a forward version of EV over earnings, right? Instead of earnings, we want to use something like EBITDA. The trouble is, nobody's predicting the future EBITDA, okay? They make what you want to call predictions about the growth rate of earnings. That's kind of what we use. So I'm going to be kind of practical. Let's find the average of earnings and EBITDA over the last 5, maybe 10 years, depending upon if data is available. Remember, things like interest, taxes, depreciation, amortization, non-cash stuff are kind of like things firms do pretty much all the time, right? So I want to find the average factors between earnings and EBITDA. And I'm going to apply that factors for future. It's kind of a quick and dirty way of predicting EBITDA using earnings predictions. This will give me quick and dirty. Way of forecasting future EBITDA given estimates of future earnings. So I'm gonna, for each year, I will calculate earnings and EBITDA, and then calculate average earnings over average EBITDA. an alternative way would be to calculate that ratio for every year, then take the average. But since certain years may have unusually high accruals, things like single charges, those individual ratios may be excessive. Certain years will have negative earnings. Basically, comparing the ratios of the averages is the same thing as adding 5-year earnings, dividing 5-year EBITDA. It basically reduces the amplitude of those potential developments. And ideally, I would do this using SEC earnings, but I have quick and dirty numbers from Yahoo. If I go to annual on income statements, I have the earnings for the last 4 years, right? Net income to common shareholders. I'm going to copy it. I'll just put it into a blank sheet. I don't know why it makes them this small. In the old days, we got them bigger. So these are earnings. And they're gonna get rid of taxes.